Welcome to another episode of Gate City Chronicles, and thank you for watching the show. And if you like the show, please hit subscribe and hit the like button and share it. It helps us with our algorithms. We're here for you, and we hopefully you like the show. So today we're going to be talking about, everybody's always looking for a handyman. Everybody's always looking for a handyman, including myself. And it wasn't too long ago that Tracy said, hey, I want a new bathroom. I had no idea. And it just so happens that I knew Mike. And so Mike said, oh yeah, well, that's my trade. So I want to introduce Mike Werner again. He's come on the TV show. He's actually been on a couple other shows with us, and former Marine. And so very trustworthy and does a really good job. So with that, Mike, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Kevin. Nice to see you.
Yeah, I wanted to just showcase a little bit what you do.
Thank you.
We had this big black granite piece in our bathroom, and we've been there for a while, and it's funny. Tracy goes through these phases like, well, I want this room painted, or I want this done, and as soon as she says it, it happens. So
yeah.
you know how that goes.
I'm well aware of that. Yeah.
So it was fortunate that you said you do tile work and you do handiwork, and you actually put in a vanity.
Yeah, the vanity.
Yeah, and you actually did the toilet for us as well. We noticed that, and you do tile work.
I do.
Yeah, that's your main.
Yeah, kitchens, bathrooms. Not so much outside work, because I come from the West Coast where there's a lot of highly manicured, veneer bricklaying and all that stuff. But I mainly do interior now, and from a bathroom to a kitchen, that's mainly my bread and butter, and it was wonderful to be able to do that for you.
Yeah,
I love doing it.
Very reasonable too.
Yeah, I try to, because things are so. The market for a contract to be put out, if you're going to try to estimate on it, I don't see any rhyme or reason sometimes to my competitors' pricing. Mm-hmm. I try to do it per square foot, not necessarily what I need to make. Right. And I know there's inflation, so I try to match it a little bit, but I try to give a reasonable price for the best work, because I'm not worried about the work. I know what I can do, but at the same time, I want more customers.
Yeah. So. Well, you did a great job. You actually put in one of those those mirrors that you just press the button on the mirror, and it has a defogger on it. Yeah. And it's like, wow, this is nice, and it's LED light, and it saves a little energy for us. And then you put in the shower door, and it was a really good job. So I highly recommend you. Now you're local, right? I'm local.
I'm in Hollis. I'm in Hollis, between Hollis and Hudson, and since I moved to New Hampshire, I've mainly been in Hollis, because that was I didn't really want to travel too far, and I was lucky, and people were generous enough to say, hey, I'll give you a try. And right now it's 11 jobs. In terms of jobs, I mean a full master bathroom and/or 2 bathrooms, or flooring. Some kind of decent level remodeling. And it's been great, because it's 20 minutes. The most I've driven is across Hollis, and it's been 20 minutes to work.
Well, there's a lot of houses, a lot of opportunity within a 10 or 15 mile radius, I would imagine. Yeah. So you don't do decks, you don't do siding or any roofing or anything like that, but you definitely do tile work. How long have you been doing that?
2014 was when I was very serious about constantly, tile work. Before that, I did a little bit, but it was nothing serious. But it was after I got out of the Marine Corps, is when I, tiling and woodworking, framing, restructuring bathrooms, taking in pony walls, and redoing the whole space.
What's a pony wall?
Pony wall is just a half wall, and anything under a full, from top to bottom. So if it's lower, it's considered a pony wall. Oh. Yeah, and then people do it for their toilet area, or a half shower wall where there's glass on top. But between the framing and the showers, the tiling is kind of like the centerpiece. And for instance, my fiance Haley, she was lucky enough, and we were lucky enough to get into a house. We're just right on the cusp of closing.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Yeah,
that's great.
It's like
yeah, especially nowadays, man. Yikes.
Yeah, but it was cool, because I've never like done it for myself. I've always made these beautiful bathrooms or kitchens, and it's great to work for, but I walk away from it. And Haley, as soon as the closing is going through, and I find myself in floor and decor and all these tile shops, and she knows that it's only the cost of the material. I'll put it in when I have like a chunk of time. And see the look on her face. This is like her dream. And that's why I do it, because I make money from it, but secondly, it's like I get to come into someone's house and change an aspect that they want to see done, but they don't know how to do it or don't know how to express it.
Right.
And that's like the most rewarding feeling in the world.
Yeah, and my wife's very particular.
Yeah, and I work with that. That's what I do.
She's very particular, and she, she's very pleased. That's all that matters to me. She's very pleased. Yeah. And I'm very pleased, actually. And you actually rerouted some of the areas that needed some
touch up.
A little touch up. Yeah.
Yeah, I have kind of like a syndrome where if the thing is a little off, I can't walk away from it. Yeah. It'll scratch my brain for months.
Yeah. So what's the name of your company?
Genesis Builders.
Okay. How'd you come up with that?
I was brainstorming one day because I'm starting to get to the point where I needed to move up in terms of expansion, and I just went through, and I mean, you could say the faith came out kind of thing, but it's like what goes hand in hand, and what's the absolute stick out moment to me when I say what should I name it? And it's original builder, because Genesis is the origin or the original. Right. So it's like I just thought it was really cool.
Yeah. And so you do finish work then?
Finish work, yeah. I mean, when you look at if you're online and you're seeing a fully finished, like, hey, here's my advertisement for this bathroom, I'll take a bathroom that is dated or has an issue, fix it, and then bring it to a standard that you would want it advertised somewhere.
Yeah, one of the things that we really appreciated was the fact that, we had this old-fashioned slide glass, where you put your toothpaste in and all that kind of stuff. And it was done in the 70s, so inside was the plug of the mirror. And so we didn't really have a plug in the bathroom, in that particular bathroom. So you fixed it so that you have an outside plug and the mirror separate, which a huge asset for us.
Yeah, no, and it's a
small thing, but you were able to do that.
No problem. Yeah, I mean, I like to do that where it's not like a huge issue or I'm trying to double my money kind of thing, because I see the standard of a bathroom or a kitchen or whatever it is, and it's like, well, no, the modern trend is you want 4 plugs in a bathroom minimum. So, I'm saying, like, so I go, well, what can I do to bring that standard up from something that's from the 80s? Right. And so I try to do that so that there's a good solution to, an outdated problem that maybe the homeowner doesn't realize. Because to me, it's kind of sacred to come into someone's house. That's their domain, this is their kingdom. So it's like for them to let me in, and then I try to improve upon it as best I can. And it's like a win-win-win situation. Yeah. So
I noticed I went looking for a specific tile. You actually did your homework when I was looking for something. I went to Shaddix and I went to a couple other places. Yeah, and I said, well, do you have this particular type of tile here? He says, no, but there was a guy in here with a beard and headphones, and he came in here looking for it. It was like, okay, my car. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I do everything I can before I come in. To my client or homeowner or whoever it is, I come to you with everything I can exhaust or know the answer to, just because that's my job. And
like myself, I work alone.
Yeah.
I just did a job just the other day, and I had to just point out, because I do a cleaning company, and I had to convince them, I'm a one-man show. Why are you a one-man show? Well, because I had 24 employees at one time, and I don't like going about fixing their work. So over the years, it went down from 24 to 10 to 3 to, okay, I do it myself. I've been doing this all along. I don't have anybody to worry about other than myself and making sure that you're happy. And I kind of feel like you're on the same level.
I am. Yeah. I do work by myself, and I know everything I can do, and unless my leg gets cut off, kind of thing,
that happen, right?
Yeah, but there is one thing that in the future I do plan is I have a couple of friends who are still active duty. Yep. And when they decide to leave, they want to come and kind of help. So my point is I'm very picky if I do have anyone work with me,
Right.
who it is. Because yes, I would prefer to, accelerate what I'm doing in the positive light versus trying to run around and, stop the fires from happening.
Yeah. So how long you been doing this?
Since 2014 full time.
14.
So
wow.
it's, almost, 10 plus years almost.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did you get about learning the trade?
So I just had tons of friends in California. I went into the Marine Corps, did 8 years, but they were framers. They worked on multi-million-dollar houses on the beach in Laguna Beach in LA and on the coast and all over the place, Palm Springs. And so when I got out, I used to fix helicopters, and so I work with my hands, and I'm like, I don't want to do this right now. I've used to do a little bit of this. I think this is really cool, and they're right next to the beach. I can go to the beach after. I can do whatever I want. And I just started up with them full time, and it kind of progressed from there. And then we started doing our own jobs, and we're 25, 26 years old. Like, I see how they progress, and I'm like, wow, this is.
Are you a surfer
great.
too?
I used to be. There's no waves out here.
No. Well, you see them try at Hampton though. They get their wetsuits on. It's like a 3-foot wave. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't even want to move from the beach if it was less than 4 feet.
Yeah.
You get spoiled. But I do love the lakes.
Yeah.
That's where I've kind of my alternative. But I also have the farmer's tan to go with it.
Yeah. Are you a farmer too?
Well, I'm a small scale.
Yeah.
Gardening.
Yeah, there's lots of nice farms out in the Hollis area. So how do people get in touch with you as far as if they want to book something, and what's the process?
Yeah, so I'm still getting all the website stuff built because I'm trying to do it myself, and it's not up and running yet. But to get a hold of me directly, my phone number, and it's area code 949-683-6690. And the process is, if you have an idea or you have a space that you just want to have maybe me to brainstorm with, or if you have a problem or an issue, I'd be happy to come out and look and discuss, what would happen, what I recommend and what I don't recommend, because I'm not trying to upcharge you. I'm not trying to sell you on something. I only tell you what I think you should do based on as being a homeowner.
So recently we actually, when there was snow on the ground, that's how recent, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We did a flood job right on the border of Hollis, and I know that it was maybe about 6 inches, 8 inches of water in the basement. It was huge. It was a finished basement. And what we did is we came in and we extract the water, and another service comes in, and they take out the siding, up to about 4 inches from the floor, rip up the carpet, and of course then you have to dehumidify it. You have to make sure that there's no mold in there, and treat it that way. And the homeowner, I think to this day, still hasn't found somebody.
Really?
Yeah, because everybody is booked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you've got, of course, a few jobs lined up, but is that something, is that a kind of work of putting up the plaster and fixing it basically?
If you guys, whoever cut out the drywall and whatever wood, so that you can air it out, it's mending the drywall and then trying to rebuild it. But then again, there's also an inspection because, from my point of view, I don't know if there is any mold or water damage or decay or rot.
Right.
But it's just determining what the process would be after inspecting it personally. Mm-hmm. But it's something that is very doable. Most people, I would say, would lean towards trying to tear all of the wall out.
Yeah.
But there is a way to do it where maybe you don't have to.
Right.
That's how I try to go that if I can. Mm-hmm. And then when it comes to scheduling, I have a policy personally, if I can maintain it, is to never schedule someone 6 months. If they're over 6 months, my schedule, I don't book it. I say I'll come back to you because I don't want to take a deposit.
Right.
I don't want to make people wait more than 6 months.
And there is a danger in 6 months if you're 6 months out. The cost of materials.
Yeah,
it changes.
They do change.
Yeah,
they do.
And I've heard that complaint even for the last couple of years, where contractors will go in and they'll say, we can do the job, but here's my price as of today.
Right.
I don't know what the materials are going to be a week from now.
Right.
And so I can guarantee the price for, say, 2 weeks or something to that effect. After that,
I honestly try to skip those conversations because what I do, and it's just what I do and what I've learned in my life experiences, because I know what you need for a kitchen or a bathroom, not necessarily a kitchen, but for bathrooms especially, which are sometimes more intricate than kitchens, is I stockpile materials that I know all showers and bathrooms need.
Okay.
So I try to, because my margins are more accurate within 10% of an estimate, and I know my labor, because I won't change my labor. But when it comes to certain things, some tiles have been in the past 2 to 3 years, they will change like drastically, like 20%. And it's because of the country they come from.
Right.
And I know, and I try not, if there's a tile that someone wants, I try to get it in a more kind of easier, what's the right word I'm looking for? Like a more direct country that constantly produces it. And there's things to avoid, but that's how I try to maintain that.
You install marble and granite too?
Marble, granite, any kind of masonry work in terms of like showers.
Right.
And then if there is any rock work, rock veneers, exterior, I do that too. So anything to do with rock work or tile. Okay.
Now, there's one thing you don't do.
Yeah.
You don't paint.
I'm not. I can paint physically. Yeah. I don't recommend myself to paint. I'm not a good painter.
Yeah. No, just in case people are asking, it's funny. I can go and do a cleaning job, and somebody say, "Well, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this?" Yes, I can. And there'll be little add-ons, but then once you say, "Well, can you stretch the carpets?" I can't stretch the carpets. Yeah. I'll leave that to somebody else. Or do you install the carpets? No, I don't install them. I just clean them, and I'm sure that happens to you quite often.
It does, and anything that I'll tell people up front, this is what I will not do, but I'm not going to leave you out to dry. I'm going to say, I'll connect you and contract it for a good price.
Right.
And we can, like, or with glass work, I don't custom cut glass, but I know all the people who do, and I can get them a fair price, even though right now that is very expensive.
Really?
Oh, through the roof.
What would you use that for?
So, for instance, I've worked on a couple historic houses, and some of their bathrooms are at the eaves there, like the top of the eave of the house. So you have these, what are they called? They're angles of the roof that have these different old add-ons that kind of persist down the house. And if you have a shower or bathroom, you can't close it off with this angle cut. You have to get it professionally custom measured and cut. So it's, when you go to do something like that, you're getting a certain type of tempered glass. That's a safety glass. That's anti-fog, highest glass. But then you got to bring it like a Nashua glass. So, they do good cutting and measurements and installation. But it's pricey because, I don't know, there's not many of them, or however that plays out. Yeah, and the glass is harder to get. Yeah. Sometimes I've seen it like $6,500. Yeah,
we picked out ours at Home Depot. It wasn't $6,500.
It's nice though.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it works. It's better than a curtain.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And but we were pricing some of those the shower doors, and it's like, I don't think so. We don't need that kind of.
No.
That's. Why would I spend $1,300-$1,400 on a shower door when the one that we got was a fraction of that?
Yeah, it looks great.
It looks great. Yeah,
it does.
You did a good job on that.
Thank you.
So you do tile work, you do bathrooms. Do you refinish the kitchen cabinets? Do you face them, or do you change? Or
I can reface them. Yes,
you can.
Yes,
oh, wow.
Refacing. That's what I'd always recommend, unless there's like an issue with the structure.
Right. So something like this veneer you can put on?
Well, so it depends, because for cabinets, there's a frame and then there's a face.
Okay.
So there's two different kind of modules to that construction. So you remove the face of it, which is not part of the structure, and you can put whatever you want on there. So in terms of refacing it, that's what I describe it as, and I can do that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did in our kitchen. They had these kits. Tracy wanted me to change the well, I had to paint them white and then use a stain to give it that look, like it's
like a wash look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can paint.
Yeah.
I can't reface.
No, and because there's different kinds of refacing too, where you can do like they have linoleum kind of that you stick on.
Yeah.
You know, and or most people when they want to reface, they want to get a new style cabinet, like a shaker style.
Okay.
From kind of like the 90s, like oak kind of finish where it's very orange. And so you can change that out, put a new face on it, and then have it either painted or stained. You know, they have like the black is in style, or darker stains, or whatever it is. But yeah, that is something I do.
That's time consuming, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's part of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So what's the phone number again?
It's area code 949-683-6690.
Okay, and so I saw you on that famous Gate City Chronicles show.
Yeah.
And I would like to schedule an appointment. How do I go about doing that? Just
give me a call. I answer, and it's literally you just talk to me, and we go from there. I'll set up a time to come out and evaluate what you want, and we just go. That's the process. That's the beginning of it, and I end up getting a return. I return to you in an estimate on what we talked about, and I usually take 2 hours at whatever project location I'm at. And I get an estimate within about 2 weeks is usually the average.
So for the first time in a long time, I went to give a quote on on a cleaning job.
Yeah.
And the day before I got there, I got a text say, "By the way, is there a charge for the quote?" And I kind of chuckled to myself. I said, "No,
it's crazy.
I don't charge for that. I know that time is involved, and I guess some companies charge. But do you charge
No.
to come in and give a quote?"
Never.
All right.
Never. And I sometimes, on average, depending on how big the bathroom is, but usually I spend like 3 hours, 4 hours on a quote. But I don't charge people. I consider that my end.
Okay.
'Cause it's me trying to get that business.
Okay. And it's Genesis
Builders.
Genesis Builders. So Mike Werner from Hollis. I guess that's about it. I mean, I really can. I highly recommend you. You did a good job, and I think your price was extremely reasonable. Very happy with it, and with the work, and with the smile on my wife's face.
Yeah, that's the most important.
Yeah, and you're not afraid of animals.
No.
And you're not allergic to cats.
Nope.
All right, so
I'm good. Yeah.
I have to ask. Some people ask.
If I am, I'll deal with it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you, Kevin.
And if you like the show, again, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and share it with some friends. If you know somebody who needs a handyman, within 10, 15 miles of Hollis, Nashua, Mike's definitely. I'd highly recommend him, and does a good job. And support is another way to support our troops. You served in the military, and this is a nice way to keep them. Saying thank you. Here's some work. I like it when people do that for me as well.
Thank you.
So yeah, we'll hopefully you share it, and hopefully you enjoy his services. So until next week, thanks for watching Gate City Chronicles. We'll see you later.